In this video, I want to introduce you to the disease process of diabetes, what causes diabetes, and complications that can arise from diabetes. The goal of this video series is to give you the skills and abilities you need to effectively manage your diabetes and to live a healthy lifestyle. This video series are not intended to replace education by your healthcare provider and are only intended to supplement this education. If you have any questions about this or other information in the video series, you should discuss them with your healthcare provider. This first video will introduce you to the disease process of diabetes. Other videos in the series will discuss how different diabetes medications work, the important role diet plays in managing your diabetes, and ways you can prevent complications related to diabetes. In this video, we will discuss what is diabetes, what causes diabetes, what are the risk factors for developing diabetes, and what are the signs and symptoms of diabetes. Diabetes is a chronic condition in which the body cannot control how much blood sugar or glucose is in the blood. In the United States, over 23.6 million Americans have been diagnosed with diabetes, or 8% of the population. Diabetes is rapidly becoming the most common chronic illness in the United States. To understand diabetes, we need to understand how the disease process works. Whenever we eat, our body converts that food into sugar, called glucose, that our body and every cell in the body uses for energy. The glucose is then absorbed into the bloodstream, and then every cell in the body uses that glucose for energy. Unfortunately, glucose cannot get into the cells on its own, and it requires a transport mechanism or a key to help the glucose get inside the cell. That is what insulin does. It acts as a key to allow glucose to enter the cell, where the cell can use the glucose for energy. Diabetes is a disorder or condition where the body does not create enough insulin. Insulin is secreted by an organ known as the pancreas. The pancreas works with the brain to keep blood sugar or glucose levels in the bloodstream stable. It senses when we eat and then secretes insulin into the bloodstream to respond to increased levels of glucose in the blood. Insulin also helps regulate growth and wound healing. Diabetes mellitus, or diabetes, is a disorder of glucose metabolism. It results from not enough insulin being created by the pancreas, or the insulin that's being created not working effectively. It is a chronic, long-term condition. There is no cure to date, but it can be controlled. There are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. Type 2 diabetes is where the pancreas does not make enough insulin. Without insulin, glucose cannot get into the cells and it accumulates in the bloodstream. The insulin does not work as well as it should, which causes the glucose to again accumulate in the bloodstream. Type 2 diabetes is usually controlled with diet and oral medications, and it is the most common form of diabetes that we see in the United States. Type 1 diabetes is a disorder in which the pancreas does not make any insulin at all. Therefore, individuals with type 1 diabetes need to take insulin through injections. It was formerly known as juvenile onset diabetes. Common complications from diabetes include heart disease, kidney disease, blindness, nerve damage, and poor wound healing. Risk factors for diabetes include a family history of diabetes, being overweight, not exercising, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, and a high blood pressure. Common symptoms of diabetes are feeling tired constantly, increased thirst, excessive hunger, weight loss, frequent infections, and poor wound healing. You can reduce your risk for developing diabetes by eating right, exercising, maintaining a proper body weight, controlling your cholesterol, and controlling your blood pressure. You should work with your healthcare provider to achieve these goals. See your healthcare provider on a regular basis and develop a healthy lifestyle plan. The most effective way to prevent complications from diabetes is strong diabetic management. You can achieve this through working with your healthcare provider. Important points to remember. Diabetes is a chronic disorder of glucose metabolism. It is caused by not enough or ineffective insulin being secreted by the pancreas. Without insulin, glucose cannot get into the cells of the body, and the cells starve for energy, while there is too much glucose in the bloodstream. Proper management of diabetes can prevent its complications, and although there is no cure for diabetes, it can be very effectively managed. For more information, visit the Diabetic Association website, Diabetic Living Online, or WebMD.